You won't believe what happens next. We're diving into a perplexing case. The kicker is that evidence can't pin the murder on Kyle Fuji, and the deputy chief reassures Tom to stop overthinking. The case should have wrapped up by now, and Tom intended to let it all go, but a news segment that night caught his attention. A young guy had a car accident. Police found 13 kg of contraband in his car, making Tom smirk inwardly. One package had tape on it just like the one he seized at Kyle Fuji's place, and suddenly a bizarre thought flashed in Tom's mind. To confirm this frightful hunch, he checked the evidence room and found exactly the batch they had seized, leaving Tom feeling a bit uneasy. According to records, that batch was discarded weeks ago, so how could it resurface now? What on earth is going on? Is someone in the precinct cashing in on this stuff? Tom just got the chills. He returned home deep in thought, and found his wife pointing a gun at an intruder. "I saw this creep sneaking in. I was terrified," his wife exclaimed. Tom gave a thumbs up for her bravery, urging her to call the cops. He kept the intruder calm, awaiting police, when the intruder unexpectedly shared a shocking secret with Tom. Before death, Sayoma was swindled by Whitefish, and the crash victim linked to Wills due to hacking. He discovered that their family was running a drug business, but before the intruder could say more, the police arrived and whisked him away. At that moment, Tom noticed the USB stick on the table, apparently left behind by the intruder. When he opened the USB stick, a shocking truth emerged. It contained records of 6 properties sold by Sayoma. These properties were all seized, and the government had tasked Whitefish with their auction. Whitefish sold cheaply to Will, who resold at a premium, but the source is crucial. All because the original owners were caught hoarding contraband, leading to government seizures. Alarm bells started ringing. Tom's gut feeling told him this was no coincidence. To confirm his hunch, he returned to the archive. He found a contraband seized property and Will's mother listed for $850,000. He found the house freshly renovated, with identical red paint on the door as Sayoma's, deepening his suspicions. Sayoma's death was definitely not as straightforward as it seemed, and the truth appeared to be surfacing. Tom asked a friend to look into Whitefish records, only to be told the company had been dissolved long ago. However, they found that the email address previously used by Whitefish was identical to that of a current company, Active Police Security. Hearing this, Tom was stunned, because that was his bald-headed colleague's company, one of his best friends. Just recently, that guy even invited him to join the company. Tom was reluctant to accept this, but he had to face this harsh truth. Meanwhile, the intruder, Eli, was bailed out of jail. Oddly enough, he didn't even know who bailed him out. When he returned home, he found Will waiting for him at the door. This made Eli finally realize that it was Will who had bailed him out, and that they had just turned really cold. Meanwhile, Tom searched and found an empty house with just an empty bottle of cleaner in the bathroom. If nothing went wrong, then Eli must have met his end, leading Tom to realize that the truth was far more complicated than he thought. A cop's duty doesn't allow for retreat, and Tom understood that continuing to investigate could cost him his life. So, to play it safe, he decided to hand over the USB to the deputy chief at the latter's birthday party. However, just as he was about to take out the USB, his bald colleague appeared out of nowhere, leaving Tom no choice but to hold off. Later, out of boredom, Tom wandered into the deputy's basement and stumbled upon an old car. Curious, he opened the door and was dumbfounded to find it was a car he'd stored for a friend. Tom wanted to know who that friend was, but the deputy chief seemed reluctant to say more, just advising Tom to mind his own business. The deputy chief clearly knew something secretive, but why the deliberate concealment? Tom's heart grew colder with each passing moment. Facing colleagues, friends, and family, Tom felt they might be involved, leaving him unsure whom to trust. Tom had never felt so helpless. Further questioning the world did standing up for justice mean getting tossed aside. Ironically, on his way home, he noticed a police car tailing him, but the officer merely cited him for a traffic violation and offered to escort him home. But Tom knew it was just a warning. After all, Sayoma was killed for wanting to expose the truth. Soon, he would face a similar fate, but giving up on holding the precinct accountable was not an option. The crucial thing was that there were uncertain numbers of people in the precinct involved. Tom alone couldn't seek justice. At that moment, the deputy chief suddenly called, asking Tom to come by tomorrow. He agreed politely, keen not to escalate tension. Tom didn't want to rock the boat. Both the deputy and his poor friend realized he knew their secret. They intended to pull Tom into their scheme, underestimating his resolve. That same evening, Tom divulged his findings to the chief, as he had never found any evidence of the chief's involvement. As Tom suspected, the chief was stunned by the revelations and assured Tom he would accompany him to confront the deputy the next day. Don't forget to subscribe.